I've only been doing this for a week, so just, you know, you gotta be patient with me. Are we running?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Friday, arm day. A little bit of crunch, Fort Myers, Boy Scout run. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
It's a warm-up.
Okay, it better be. Okay, warming it up. Arm day. Sweet. Okay. Arm day goes quick. Just gotta be in and out. Pow, pow, pow. See how I feel. I felt pretty strong last week. We'll see how it goes. Had a dip of strength this week. Like, actually a dip of energy. Strength is all right. My energy was shit. What's going on? You just keep going. You know, I think that you can't be too hard on yourself. You just gotta keep going. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we were talking earlier and I said, you said you haven't really taken supplements much, you know? And I said, well, and then I handed you, you know, my post-roast, Metabolic, Cleaner Way, and Alkaline Accelerate, all that. All that stuff works. My post-roast and Metabolic, you will get a response, I say, similar to creatine. And that's a bold statement, but you'll feel it. And you'll feel bigger and swole and better pumps and stronger. There's that. Taking the Alkaline Accelerator, that will make you stronger. That product is being, the name is being changed to Electro Boost. It will make you stronger. Everyone I know that's been in fitness for a long time knows how beneficial sodium is. You know, and I say you can scoop a teaspoon of salt in your mouth before you work out, and you will see a response. Like straight sodium. You don't need all the magnesium, you don't need all the potassium, you just need fucking sodium, you know? So in my Electro Boost product, it's high sodium, a little bit of potassium. And it makes a difference. It will increase your performance. Like, I don't take it because I wish that it would. You know? It's not me like going, I hope this works.
Just do things just to do them.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it every day, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and I have some key products. So if you haven't checked out my supplement line, you need to, because it's stuff that I take on a regular basis that's tried and true and proven, and it works. And you take that to the bank, you know? Try it. Try to debunk it or whatever the fuck everybody's gonna try to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people say, well, why don't I just have some fruit post-workout instead of your post-roast? Well, that's a very good question. Actually, it's a good question because not all sugars are equal. So fructose is metabolized by the liver. Think about that. Metabolized by the liver, doesn't need insulin. So it's the only sugar that doesn't need insulin. Well, insulin is what we're after. Insulin causes the anabolic effect to store everything. So if you eat fruit, you're gonna replenish your glycogen stores via the liver, but you don't get the added benefits of insulin, which make you anabolic and store everything present. Post-roast, made with dextrose, will do that because it triggers so much insulin, your body starts storing everything. Now, if you fuck this up and you only have post-roast and Cleaner Way and your creatine post-workout, you think that's gonna do it? Because that is the beginning of the recovery process. That is the anabolic catalyst. That is what starts the ball game for recovery. Because I have people say, oh man, I couldn't take that stuff, dude, because, you know, 2 hours later, dude, I was like shaking and I just felt like shit. And I'm like, you know, it's so fucking frustrating. I wrote a fucking whole book on how to do this. And all you have to do is have your crucial post-workout meal an hour later. And you have more carbs. Rice, potato, white rice, white potato. So that now when the insulin is really storing everything, your body can quickly break down those carbs that are not gonna hit quite as hard as that really simple carb dextrose, and your body's gonna have that to keep your blood sugar up while your insulin is knocking it down, and then you won't get shaky and feel like shit. And then at that point, your immediate recovery process is good. It's all about glycogen stores. You've filled your glycogen stores. According to a book called Nutrient Timing by Robert Ivy and PhD Portman, last name Portman, they talk about if you spike your insulin post-workout and have another meal within 2 hours, it increases insulin sensitivity for up to 6 hours. increased insulin sensitivity is one of the main factors that make people lean, because your cells, the cells that you want, are pulling sugar. And so this is like a third of the principles in my book. And the reason I say have the meal an hour later is trial and error. Trial and error. What I've realized is that if you wait longer than an hour, it's too late. It won't work as well. But if you wait, when you hit about 45 minutes to 60 minutes and have that meal, you won't have a lag in energy. So instead of crashing, there's insulin storing everything, you just kind of level and keep going. And then you move on to your next meal, which needs to be a fat meal. And there's like, if you don't understand that, you need to read the fucking book. Wrote the book so I wouldn't have to repeat myself all the time like I do anyway. Because nobody likes to fucking read and learn shit. People just want to go on the internet and go, oh, you're wrong. Oh, you fucking take steroids and you're a fucking liar. And you know, this guy that I follow over here that's 132 pounds says that you don't know how to grow muscle. And that's a lie. It's like, dude, I was winning shows as a fucking natural, all right? Where you were just dreaming of having a physique one day that you would be presentable on stage. And I was winning shows fucking natural. How? Because I figured out how to use food to get a little bit of an edge. And so if you're not looking at food in the year 2025 as a way to get an edge by nutrient timing, grouping your foods together with a really specific plan, you haven't evolved, you know? Because I took these principles and went and won shows. When I won the Gainesville show in 2010, I didn't know one person in the NPC. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have an NPC card the day I showed up. I paid for my NPC card, entered the contest. They're like, what's your name? I told them. Well, they didn't know this, but I entered 3 competitions in 3 weeks. That was my plan. And the only way you can do 3 shows in 3 weeks is if you're natural. Because I didn't have to deplete, and I didn't have to run a bunch of fucking drugs and ramp up for the fucking day and do diuretics and all kind of shit. I just got myself in shape, landed it like a fucking plane. And I came out, didn't know shit from nothing, nobody, in Florida, no coach, won the whole fucking thing. Showed up, won the whole thing. Next week I did the Florida State, won the super heavyweight division, beat one of Tim Gardner's guys. Tim Gardner's coach. And has a ton of athletes. And I beat one of his guys, no coach. Week after that, went to Junior USA's, took 9th. And I was significantly smaller, but I looked like a tall version of like a Frank Zane. Because I looked fucking great. My posing was on point. You know, my package was dialed, and the judges said, man, we loved your presentation, your posing, and all that. And that's how I hung as a super heavyweight, got 9th place as a natural guy. They said, we just need a lot more of you. And I said, I know. I said, I'm just doing the best I can because, you know, I'm fucking natural. Like, I said, when I cross that road, trust me, I'll be 300 pounds fucking peeled. That'll be a very different ballgame. Yeah, here we are. So, there's that. I just been doing it so long. Like, if people don't understand how powerful insulin is, you need to understand this.
Yeah.
You need to understand this. And, you know, there's a lot of people that will say, yeah, but it's not good and you're gonna have diabetes because you're eating all that sugar and stuff. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? Like, as soon as you're depleted, your body wants what it's depleted from. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Your body wants to stay in homeostasis, which is like this range where your cells and all their processes are functioning at peak performance and a perfect balance. That's homeostasis. That's where you want to hang, right? So if something drops down, your body wants to go back to it. So if you drop all your sugar out, you put it back in, then we're back on. You know, I got my blood work done, you know, the beginning of the year twice, and had a resting glucose of 80. What's your resting glucose? I bet you have no idea. But I won't admit it ain't that. And I eat sugar every fucking day post-workout. Like, I don't know how else to, but yet somebody's gonna see this and think, oh, I don't know, but I'm different. No, you're not. You don't eat good and you train like shit and you can't stick to a fucking plan. That's how we're different. We're different because you have zero discipline. If you had discipline, you would follow my plan, it would work, and you would say, holy shit, just like thousands have in front of you. I love it when I have guys that like watch the videos and stuff, and I'm like, dude, your book changed my life. Like, holy shit, like you see the comments, you know? People that read the book and did it, they're like, dude, it's crazy.
That's like the number one comment.
Yeah, that's the number one. It changed my life. I learned so much. I wish I'd known this earlier.
Why don't they teach us this in school?
Yeah, and I'm like, that, okay, here again.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't we teach this in school?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's the thing. I wasn't taught by a traditional institution. I taught myself. And so that's where people, I remember when I wrote my book, people said to me, you know, I was 29 when I wrote it, you know? And people said to me, well, don't you think you should have like a nutritionist, like check it to make sure everything is right and da-da-da-da? And I'm like, well, no, because they're not taught what I have in here, so they wouldn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
They can try to grasp the concepts like you will reading this, but they have zero experience with what I'm talking about. And then now we're at a spot now where we're starting to find out that there's people out there that like, there's more than one way to get to the result. And that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing. People just have a hard time listening to me because I'm overgrown. They just can't imagine, you know, that I got something figured out. And I figure, why not? I'm stretching every day. I hate this shit, so I might as well get something out of it, you know? And, you know, I think the reward is safety.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you're real flexible, you're gonna be safer. Yeah, here we go. I'm getting there. I'm almost able to relax with it. It's still a strain. I'm almost able to relax. What I want to do is be able to go from that to sit up like Van Damme. Kickboxer. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be like, with my legs like y'all doing the splits, and you just sitting there. You remember that when they strung him up?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know, he was like,
iconic, man.
He pulled himself up, dude, and then like sat down into it. It's like, you know. I was like, that's what I got to do. I got to have somebody just force me into it. Our generation was Mortal Kombat. Kids say, you know the blood code? Do you know the blood code? You had to put in a code. And then instead of it, when you punch him, instead of sweat flying out, blood was flying out. There's literally a code. Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
What game console is that?
Huh?
Super Nintendo?
And Sega.
Oh, okay.
They had a code. I don't know how people played Mortal Kombat on Sega with the fucking original controller. It had 3 buttons. Because you have a low punch, a high punch, and then like a hard punch. And then you have a low kick, you know what I'm saying? So you need 6 buttons. And Super Nintendo had to figure it out. Then Sega came out with a new controller later that had the 6 buttons.
I don't know if I ever played Sega.
Dude, Sega just dropped the ball with their marketing, but their unit was just as good as Super Nintendo, but it just failed. All their systems failed, and their games kept going, which is why now Sonic is on Super Nintendo, or is on Nintendo DS and stuff. Sonic. They just make games now. They don't make systems no more. Let's get these arms going. Just warming it up. We're just warming it up. Then we're gonna go do some curls, and then we'll come back here. And it's gonna go quick. Let's do this. All right, last week I went 75s. Felt pretty good.
Yeah.
A little bit of warm up here. You know what I didn't do?
Oh shit.
And I didn't take my fucking alkaline accelerator either. Now if we don't hit these numbers, we know why. Dude, have you heard that AI song? That it's like a girl band that's AI generated.
You tell me about it.
Singing about cocaine and fucking babes and blow, and they don't need a man. Like, fuck, that's what AI thinks is going to be catching on with the young girl community.
Yeah. Fortunately. Checks out.
Chicks that do blow cannot be trusted. Here we go. Decided to throw an extra set in there. Starting to approach 100-pound dumbbells again.
Nice.
That's how the juggernaut does it.
So do you feel that inflate kicking in now?
Something's kicking in right now. All right, We're gonna do another bicep exercise, and then biceps are done. That's how it goes, folks. In case you're wondering, that's how it goes. Like, I think you grow more from like more strength from like a single set versus with a heavy weight than a whole bunch of reps, the lighter weight.
Well, it's the UPS driver theory. You heard that?
No.
UPS drivers lifting 20-pound packages all day, running upstairs, popping in and out of their truck. How come they're not all jacked?
That's like my dad used to say to me, "I work, son. That's all the exercise I need. How do you think I got so big?" And I'm like, "Pop, if you got huge from swinging a hammer and working, every bodybuilder would be a carpenter instead of a bodybuilder."
Yep.
I was like, but that ain't how it works.
Yep.
And I said, and that's not how you got big. You got big from fucking hay, throwing hay bales around at 12 years old. Your body grew into a fucking ball of muscle. Like, that is like, it's like a power clean. It's like a power clean.
It literally is.
Over and over and over and over and over.
So my hay bucking story. So I was 14 and we went out to this, my buddy, I'd never done it before. And I am like,
what's this?
100 pounds soaking wet or something like that. And the farmer, his son had come back from college for the summer. Big, strong country boy, 19, whatever, 20 years old. And he goes, and he was a little bit shorter than us. He goes, you guys should be able to throw better than me because you've got long arms, you got all this. And he showed us how to pick him up, and he did a full-on power clean. Now use your legs to throw it. And I'm like, what the heck? So we're throwing 80-pound bales, and I'm 100 pounds soaking wet. And that's what we did all day. He taught me how to do a power clean, essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah.
First time I ever attempted a deadlift, I did 300 pounds. I had to do that to impress my childhood mentor, so he let me work out and teach me how to work out. Because he kept telling me, "Oh, we'll do it. We'll get you going here soon. We'll get you going here soon." And like, you can't. He did it right because he brought me to the gym, and I'm spotting him, watching him work out every day. I went with him every day. Like, we were hanging out. He's getting ready to go off to college. And he played football, had a scholarship and shit for football. And so, he just took me around as his little buddy. He's a friend of the family and shit. So he's like taking me around, and like, he'd go to the gym every day. He'd be like, we'd wake up in the morning. He had this gnarly shake. He'd be like, "Here, drink this." I'd fucking drink like this cake batter, gnarly chalk, casein, protein, bullshit. Like, ugh. And he's like, "All right, that's good." He's like, "Now we're gonna go work out." Every day that was a routine, like, have the shake, go work out. Guess what I still do to this day? And so we would go in the gym, and he'd be like, "Okay, spot me." And I remember the first time I had to spot him on a bench, he had like almost 300 pounds on there. And he was like, "All right, just spot me," And I'm like, "Dude, Gus," I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't think I can do it, He's like, "Sure you can." He's like, "I don't need you to lift the whole thing, just need a little help." He's like, "I start getting stuck, just pull on it, He's like, maybe 40 pounds, maybe 50, you can do that, right?" He's like, "Pick one of those plates up." So I pick up the 45-pound plate. He's like, "You pick that up?" He's like, you can help me." I'm like, "Okay." He's fucking nervous, And then he's like, "Help." And I'm like, "He got it?" He goes, "No," helping him. Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he taught me to spot before I ever started training.
Yeah, that's smart.
So he taught me to spot, and he just kept saying, we'll get you going here next time. We'll get you next time. And I'm like, I can do it. Like, I can pick that up. Well, if you think you can, go ahead,
How old were you?
12.
12?
Yeah. It's the first thing I was more physical than my older brother at. And in that moment, being the sick kid that I was and little bubble boy, in that moment, I knew this is what I was good at and what I was going to do for the rest of my life. Right there. I was like, I'm stronger than my older brother. I was like, I can just train every day and keep getting stronger. Like in my own mind, there was like no end to it. I'll just train, get a little stronger every day. You know what I mean? It's funny how like your mind like makes things real, you know? And then my older brother started working out after me to try to stay on top of me.
Yeah. He's like, oh, can't let this happen.
I think the arms are good. Those are good. All right, now we're gonna do a tricep, and we're about to be done. Okay, I just want a little test run. So I'm gonna do a split set. So I'm gonna do like as many as I can, controlled, slow, just put a lot of strain on the triceps. And then I'm just gonna set after set or set. I can't really drop the weight down, so it's just gonna be a split set, you know. Do it again. That's it. Now I'll do a little tricep movement. Doing the reverse curl like that, I typically can't do as much weight as a pressing motion.
What's the idea between
Trying to get that horseshoe shape on my tricep because I'm not hitting that over there with the dips. So this helps balance out that third head. That's a wrap. So I'm gonna drink my shake, call it good. Oh man, okay, cleaner way. Post-roast. Simple sugars post-workout. When you train hard like that, that's what your body wants. Your body doesn't want fat right now. It doesn't. It's not what it wants. So instead of trying to make it difficult on your body, just make it easy on your body. It's not gonna, it's not working against you. It wants to work with you. Feed us some fucking sugar. Why do you guys think Gatorade works so well for football players? The Florida Gators. They made it so they could have an edge on performance because football's anaerobic activity. It's not aerobic like soccer or basketball or even hockey. It's short bursts of strength. So you have these really big guys who go really hard for 5 or 6 seconds and then they rest in a huddle. So it's like training in the gym. That's why weight training and football go together so well. And Gatorade is made with dextrose. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people drink Gatorade because they just think that it tastes good and they're just addicted to sugar.
Well, that was the original Gatorade formula, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same now.
I think I've seen somewhere, like if you get the powdered stuff, you can get dextrose in it. But yeah, it didn't taste that good at first, and they got it tasting better, but worse. All right, this is tough to get the pills to your mouth when your arm is pumped. It's either that or throw them at my face and try to catch it. Because it'll get real close and stop short. I've done it before. I'm like, damn. Damn. Everything failed.
Good time to put a sticker on your back.
Arm day's fun. Oh. Arms are uncomfortably pumped. All right, let's do a video. Arm day today. Went great. You guys got to tune into my vlog for this one. I did 85-pound dumbbells for reps. Drop set from there. I got to fill you in. You got to check it out. But strength is going up. I'm on the road to doing 100-pound dumbbells for reps. It's been a while since I've done that. Let me get that going again. And yeah, that was it. Nice and quick. You know, a big arms program. You know, a massive arms program is real. You know, you got to be here all fucking day with the big arms. You got to train hard. Literally sweating from, you know, the first exercise on. So, went really well. You know, I finished with my cleaner way, post-stroke, Metabolic, berberine per usual. I got late with my inflate and alkaline accelerator, but I still got it in. Got my man Snyder here.
Yeah, buddy.
On the camera, crushing it. Thank you, man. Looks fantastic. Doing a great job. So there it is. Eat right, train hard, stay focused. Don't be a sissy.